to talk about text messaging during the pandemic era. But before we get into texting, let's talk about credit unions for a moment. So I have been a member of 2 credit unions for the last 17 years, both of them here in California. And what I've learned about credit unions is that the way credit unions are different is that they love to put their members over profit. And secondly, they believe in building connections with their members. So the question I have for Emily, I know you're part of Director Member Experience, ma'am, at North County FCU. Would you agree with these 2 statements, ma'am?
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful, thank you. But COVID-19 has really changed everything because many credit unions were forced to shut down their lobbies earlier in spring this year. And as now we're getting into the second wave of COVID-19, something similar is happening again. And even when members are coming into our branches now, they wear a mask, they're in a hurry, they're scared. So those personal connections that credit unions used to be known for are getting more difficult to create and maintain. So Emily, what do you think about this, ma'am? Is this something you're seeing as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had to come up with some creative solutions to keep those connections going. I know for us personally, you know, we went to drive-through only for a long period of time, and a lot of it was about physically meeting members where they are, meaning the parking lot. So yeah, there's definitely some challenges.
Well, wonderful. Very good to know, ma'am. And how about Tracy? Tracy, is this something, ma'am, you're seeing in your credit union as well, these challenges? I think you may be on mute, ma'am, Tracy. Or Joe, how about you, sir? Yeah, Tracy's back. Tracy, what do you say, ma'am, to these?
Yeah, I mean, we had our lobbies closed down and just our drive up open for a while. And so it seemed to be, I mean, the main way for people to communicate was really either emailing us or calling us in. So those avenues seem to be more accessible for members, and members are now, I think, more on the electronic side only because they had to be, whereas before they weren't.
Precisely. So Tracy, I was talking to another credit union CEO, ma'am, about 8 weeks ago. So this gentleman is a CEO of a credit union in Louisiana. And this gentleman said that, Ashish, if it's difficult for my members to come to my lobby, I'm going to change the game by putting my lobby in their phone via text messaging. Because it doesn't matter where my members are, they always have their phone on them all the time. So Tracy, what do you think about this idea, ma'am, putting your lobby in your members' phone?
Yeah, I mean, before we were afraid that the older generation that wasn't as tech savvy would be more reluctant to use that type of service. But now, I mean, they've gotten accustomed to it. They've learned how to use it. So, I mean, and now where things seem to be on the rise again, and we might be looking at reclosing our lobbies, I think that, I mean, this would really, in a sense, benefit and help people to stay more connected.
Wonderful. And this is where, ma'am, we come in, that we as Eltropy have built an enterprise class text messaging solution for credit unions. So there are 2 unique things about our company. First of all, we only work with credit unions. So credit unions are our bread and butter, and we've gone across America, credit union by credit union, and really tried to build a single solution for credit unions for texting. The second unique thing about our company is that we are the only texting provider that provides an enterprise class texting solution. So what I mean by that is that every single department in your credit union, whether it's marketing, lending, collections, call center, your branches for emergency communication, for member onboarding, et cetera, there are many different use cases using which you can do texting. And this is something, Emily, you were talking about, ma'am, earlier on, that you've been brainstorming many use cases on how you can use texting. So today in my demo, I'd like to cover two main use cases. One is marketing and another is lending. But if all of you like what you hear today, if you'd like to schedule a separate demo for your credit union, I'll be very happy to show you many other use cases like call center, collections branches, etc. And there are three main areas in which we help credit unions. The first and the most critical is compliance and risk. So this is the reason I'm really happy today that Donna, you're on the call today, ma'am, representing risk. And Bree, if you can hear me, ma'am, I'm really happy you also join us today because you also are responsible for risk. So my question for Donna and Bree is that, is this an area where you spend some time in looking at text messaging compliance?
I think that my concerns with text messaging and compliance are TCPA related, because it's just such a moving target with TCPA, that we would want to be sure. We have not at this point asked our members to opt in or opt out of TCPA. So I'd want to know how we could provide this service to them and get them to opt in at the same time, if that's a possibility.
Yes, ma'am. Very rightly said. And today, this is going to be a major part of my presentation. What are those rules and regulations that you need to comply with? And secondly, how can you help your members opt in and opt out? So that's absolutely a big part of my presentation today, ma'am. Okay. And Bree, if you can hear me, any thoughts from your side on compliance?
No, basically the same fears and, wanting to look at the opt-in, the new rules. This is, like she said, a moving target. I'm also in charge of the collections piece of this all, so I'm curious how that works with that department as well.
Yes, ma'am. I will be very happy to cover both of those today, ma'am. Wonderful. Now, the second challenge that credit unions run into is data security. So what all of you need to know that text messaging is absolutely wonderful, and I'll show you some metrics, but text messages have one weakness. The weakness is that text messages are sent using a protocol called SMS, and picture text are sent using a protocol called MMS. Unfortunately, both SMS and MMS are unencrypted forms of communication. So this has been the biggest hurdle for credit unions, saying that, listen, if you start using texting with our members, and let's say members want to send us a picture of their pay stub as a picture text, how do we guarantee encryption? Or if the member says, hey, send me my loan documents via text, how do I send loan documents on an unencrypted channel? So this is where we have spent 7 years in trying to fix this problem, and today I'm going to show you the best security solution that exists in the marketplace around text. And the last piece is integration. So we offer integration into several IT systems that credit unions have. For example, core systems like Scimitar, Correlation, lending systems, collection systems like Temenos Accelerant, ESignature systems like DocuSign, etc. Okay, so let's get into our most important topic here, which is compliance. So let me start with asking Bree a couple of questions. So Bree, first of all, my first question for you, ma'am, is that do you get a lot of spam in your personal email today?
I wouldn't say a lot, but a fair amount.
Okay. And how about text messaging, ma'am? Do you get a lot of spam in text these days?
No.
And ma'am, have you ever thought about why is it that you get so much spam in email, but such little spam in text?
Because my email is more public.
Yes, that's a very good answer. So it's very easy to find your email address on the internet. There's another reason, ma'am, which is compliance. So what you need to know is that email is an unregulated medium of communication. So what I mean by that is that I can find your email address on the internet. I can buy it from people who sell email addresses. I can preemptively opt you into any sort of email marketing list. The only option you have is to opt out. And Donna, when you get spam email, ma'am, let's say in your personal email, and you try to opt out, how easy it is to opt out, ma'am, of the spam email?
It's not easy at all.
It's not easy at all. And so most of us have given up on email. We think that spam in email is a way of life. Compared to that, text messaging is regulated by the US federal government. So exactly 7 years ago in 2013, when texting was starting in America, the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, wrote a memo. And through this memo, they said that going forward, we're going to treat text messages as if they were phone calls. And as a result, FCC brought text messaging under the purview of TCPA. So if you read this memo a little bit more in detail, and I'll be very happy to provide this memo to you, this memo breaks texting down into two broad buckets. There's informational texting and promotional texting. For promotional texting, the FCC wrote that before we can send promotional text, we need express prior written consent from people. So my next question for Donna is that, Donna, let's say, ma'am, you go out shopping or you go to a restaurant, you used to go out shopping and dining before COVID. If a retailer told you that, Donna, we would like your phone number to opt you in to sending you marketing messages via text, do you provide that consent easily, ma'am, that written consent for texting?
I wouldn't want the junk mail or the junk text.
Junk text. And you're just like all other Americans, ma'am, that people don't provide that written consent that easily. And because you don't provide that written consent easily, people cannot spam you or companies cannot spam you. And this is the reason why you get such little spam in text. Now, the other type of texting is called informational texting. So for example, Bree, you spoke about that collections, ma'am. So let's say if you were to send a collections text to your member, you're not trying to promote a new product or a new service. You're just trying to inform the member that their loan payment is now overdue. Or let's say, Joe, you're on the call, you're responsible for the call center for member support. So let's say, Joe, instead of calling, if your members were to text you saying, hey, what's my routing number or what's my account balance? So a bunch of these use cases fall under the informational category, for which a federal judge ruled 6 years ago in a lawsuit that for informational texting, implied consent is okay. So Bree, what do you think about implied consent, ma'am? Let's say when I say implied consent is okay, how would you interpret implied consent? Or Donna, how would you interpret implied consent, ma'am?
Them providing their cell phone number to us.
Okay. Donna, do you happen to be an attorney by any chance, ma'am?
No, but I do risk and compliance.
This is the textbook definition, Donna, so congratulations to you. So this is exactly what a judge wrote in the judgment 6 years ago, and I actually have that judge's judgment. So what a judge wrote is that in today's day and age, when a person is providing their cell phone number voluntarily to another person or another organization, the act of providing that cell phone number means you've given implied consent to call or text for informational purposes. So this is what implied consent means. So now the next question I have is for Joe. Joe, if you can hear me, sir, I have a question for you. Do you happen to get dental appointment reminders via text?
No, I get the old-fashioned phone call.
Okay, and how about, sir, appointment reminders from your doctor's office or from your hairstylist? Do you get any of these via text?
No, I can't say that I have, actually. It's almost always a call.
Okay. How about somebody else who gets appointment reminders via text?
I do. I get one from the dentist.
Okay, wonderful. So, Christine, do you remember giving that dentist written consent, ma'am, to get that appointment reminder text?
Nope, not at all.
Then how's the dentist able to text you, ma'am?
Because it's informational.
Bingo. It's informational, and when you became a patient or much later, when you provided them your 10-digit cell phone number, the act of providing that cell phone number, ma'am, you've given them an implied consent to call or text for informational purposes. Okay, So this is where Bree and Donna, any questions on this framework, by the way, promotional versus informational?
I don't.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. And I think you spoke about that TCP is a moving target. So Donna, you're absolutely right. So what we have done is Eltropy, we have one of the best attorneys in America who's a TCP text messaging expert on our staff. And along with her, she's a litigator in the federal justice system. So along with this attorney, Tanya Klausner, we stay on top of this moving target. And it's our responsibility to know the law, explain the law to credit unions, and make sure we're putting features in our software to help you comply with the law. So if you have any more questions on this, if you need any documentation, etc., I'll be very happy to provide this to you. Okay. So now let's begin our demo. So let's say now that Emily, one fine day, as the director of member experience, you decide that North Country FCU or North County FCU would like to do promotional texting. So, but the problem is that before you can do promotional texting, you need written consent. So how do you go about obtaining written consent? So there are many ways in which we can help you. One of the ways is a feature which we call text to join. So now imagine that all of you on this call are members of this fictitious credit union called MyCU. You go to the MyCU website and you see this thing says text MyCU to 74994 to start receiving text messages. Or you see this in one of their lobbies, a poster. So Emily, have you seen anything like this anywhere, ma'am? Let's say with another retailer, we text in a keyword.
Yep.
Wonderful. So can all of you please try this on your phone? And Emily, could you please tell me what happens when you do this, ma'am, on your phone?
So you get the auto reply of reply yes, or reply Y, or yes to start receiving messages.
From MyCU. And after that, ma'am, if you look at the 3 disclaimers carefully, message and data rates may apply, sign up not required to buy goods and services, and messages sent by auto dialer to this number. So those are the 3 disclaimers, ma'am, mandated by that FCC memo of 7 years ago. Now, what happens, ma'am, when you reply with Y or yes? I think you may be in mute.
Yep, it asks for my name.
Okay. And what happens when you type in your name, ma'am?
It says, thank you, Emily. Welcome to the MyCU text messaging list. Message and data rates may apply for reoccurring messages. Help equals help, stop equals opt out.
Perfect. So the last piece there, ma'am, which is stop equals opt out, is also critical for compliance, because what the FCC memo 7 years ago says that even if people are opting in for promotional texting, we show them an easy and conspicuous way of opting out. So what you just went through, ma'am, is what will be called a TCPA compliant opt-in flow for obtaining express prior written consent for promotional texting. So that's what we just went through. So the next question is for Donna. Donna, how easy was this to do, ma'am, on your phone?
It was easy to do.
Fantastic. And Donna, right now we used a keyword called MyCU, and you're from Vermont Federal. So what if you could get a keyword like VFCU? So let's say you got a keyword called VFCU, and you advertise that in your branches or on your website, and the whole flow actually was customized to Vermont Federal. What do you think about that idea, ma'am?
I think that would be great. That would be more be on the marketing side than me, but I think that they would like that.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, wonderful. So now let's say that, Emily, one fine day you decide you want to do promotional texting, and you come to me. My name is Ashish. I'm a marketing person. You say, Ashish, listen, I want you to send a special promotional campaign out to our members via text. So how will I do that? So what I'll do is that as a credit union employee, I'll open up a web browser on my computer. So this is Google Chrome over here, and I'm typing mycu.eltropy.com. So this is just a demo site. In reality, all of your credit unions will get your own site. So now, when I enter that, I click on sign in, and Eltropy provides several single sign-on options. So your employees can pick one of these options, and then they can log into the system. When I log into the system as an employee, I see these 8 different tiles. We call these tiles as workspaces for different departments. So for example, this is for marketing, lending, collections, call center, the branches, HR, and you can create as many workspaces for as many departments as you would like. Now when I click on activity on the left-hand side, Emily, did you notice your opt-in is right here, ma'am? Do you notice that?
Yep.
Wonderful. And ma'am, did you notice we collected 4 different pieces of information about you? One was your name, which is what you typed in your phone. Second was your 10-digit cell phone number. So ma'am, did you have to type in your 10-digit number, by the way?
No.
We picked it up automatically. That's a very key point. And then the date and time of the opt-in, which is critical for compliance. Okay. Now, Emily, could you do me a favor, ma'am, and reply with stop? And please tell us what happens when you reply with stop.
So I get the auto reply, you've opted not to receive future text messages for MyCU. You will not receive any additional messages from this domain.
Bingo. And ma'am, can you look at my screen? Did you notice we captured the opt-out in real time right here, ma'am? And could you do me a favor and reply with MyCU again to initiate the opt-in process? So this is what you were doing, text MyCU to 74994. And if a few others could also please try this to experience what's going to happen. So if you could please try this, Emily, and please tell me what happens, ma'am.
Yep, I get the same message as I originally did when I first signed up.
Wonderful. And if you could please reply with why yes, then what happens, ma'am?
Same message.
Bingo. And now could you look at my screen? Do you notice in real time we captured your opt-in again, ma'am, over here?
Yep.
So this is how we do opt-in and opt-out management, which for Bree and Donna must be very critical because this is the way we ensure that we're being compliant with the rules. Okay, so now I will quickly show this to you in the interest of time, how you can run one-to-many campaigns for your members, either promotional or informational. So I click on this button called SMS Campaign. But before I do that, let me go to the emergencies workspace. And let's say over here, you've written a letter. So this is, let's say, a special promotional letter for our members. It has a special promo in here. It has a special call to action over here for our members. And now if I want to run a campaign that I want to send it to my members, I'll click on this button called SMS Campaign. Click on New Campaign. And I say Vermont webinar COVID-19 promo campaign. I can click on Add Users. So Emily, do you see these 3 buttons here, ma'am?
Yep.
So if I'm running a promotional campaign, I can click on this button to import the opt-in. However, if I'm running an informational text campaign, I can also take a CSV file of my members' records. So let's say their name and phone numbers and upload it over here. So this allows you to do both promotional texting and informational texting right here in a one-to-many manner. So for example, 4 opt-ins were recorded today. And what I can do, I can select my letter from here that I want to send to my members. And this is what I want to say. I want to say, MyCU, dear member, I hope you find this letter useful. And then I can add the compliance language, text stop to opt out. And then I'd like to schedule this for launching today at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. I click on this and boom, launch campaign. As easy as that. So if you look over here, this is a campaign I just created with this letter going to 4 of my opted-in members. And right now it's in the schedule state. So now we'll cross-check the opt-ins and launch this one-to-many campaign. So my next question is for Maud. So Maud, one of the ways, ma'am, credit unions can use this is, of course, running marketing promotion. Can you think of other use cases, ma'am, within a credit union that they can use this one-to-many texting?
Well, I think as far as marketing, you mean, or just in general?
In general, ma'am, beyond marketing, let's say if you had an ability of texting all your members in one shot, how else could you use that, ma'am?
Can't think of anything right now.
How about, because COVID's starting to get really bad around here now, and we may have to shut branches down, so
Oh, yeah.
need to send out a text message to all our members saying, hey, the branch over here on Main Street is closed now because of COVID.
Yes, that's a really good one. And Tracy, any other ideas, ma'am? So let's say sending notifications to your members about branch closings. How about, let's say, payment due reminders via text? So sending payment due reminders. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, especially if, I don't know, say people go away on vacation or something like that and they forgot, at least then if you were sending out payment reminders, say within, I don't know, the first 5 days of it being past due or anything coming up due, then it'd just be kind of their reminder to pay it either before they go on vacation, or if they're on vacation, something that they could just go on their app and possibly transfer money or anything like that.
Yes, yes. So that's a very popular use case. And Bree, I know you're also responsible for collections. So what do you think about that, ma'am? Let's say if members are really overdue, let's say 25 days overdue or 30 days overdue, letting the members know that, hey, you're really late in your payment. Please do something. So what do you think about that in the collections funnel, ma'am?
I would love it. Notice that your reminder is coming due, a reminder that you're 10 days due, a reminder that you're 30 days due, or 45 consistent reminders scheduled would be great.
Yes. And ma'am, many credit unions are using our platform for that. And very soon I'm going to show you metrics, how effective those text campaigns are. Another idea, Joe, do you ever go through, sir, in your credit union, let's say bad weather days, where let's say it's snow or fire or something like that? So what if, let's say, you could send out sort of text to your members about bad weather, sir? What do you think about that?
That would be great.
Okay, fantastic. So there are many, many different ways in which you can use this concept of one-to-many texting, or like text campaign. Okay, so I think the campaign is still a few minutes away from launching. So let's say all of you participated in that campaign, and in that campaign there was a call to action that says, dear members, if you want to apply for this loan, text the keyword apply to this number. So can all of you please try this on your phone, and please tell me what happens when you do so.
So I've gotten the auto response saying, thanks for your interest. Are you looking for an auto loan, a new credit card, or a personal loan? And then you can type home, card, or auto for more info.
Fantastic. And ma'am, what happens when you please pick one of those three options, ma'am?
It sends me a link.
Bingo, bingo. So which option did you pick, ma'am? Home, card, or auto?
Auto.
Okay, fantastic. So it probably sent you a link like this. We've got your back, click the link. And what happens when you click on that link, ma'am?
It sends me to the website.
Bingo, bingo. So Emily, this is what we call auto response keywords, ma'am. So now imagine you have an ability of creating unlimited such keywords. So for example, apply is a keyword. Home is a keyword. Thanksgiving could be a keyword. Super Bowl could be a keyword. So what do you think about this idea, ma'am, having different keywords and asking members to text those keywords in to get auto responses?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think it's great to funnel people down, especially from a lending perspective or even a new product perspective. It allows you to direct them straight to what they want rather than them fumbling around a website.
Precisely, precisely. So now let's say, Emily, you are a member, you texted the keyword apply, then you texted the keyword home, and then you got a link, you clicked on the link, you went to the website and you applied. And now I'm Ashish, I'm a loan officer at the credit union. I got your loan application. I just need to collect your pay stub to process your loan. So for that, I've tried to call you many times, but ma'am, unfortunately, these days you're too busy, so you never pick up my call. I've tried to email you. I think you get a lot of spam emails. So I feel you're ignoring me. So I'm going to try and reach you a little differently today. So this is what I'm going to do, Emily. I'm going to come to Eltropy. I'm going to click on this button called Messages over here. And my text conversation are just loading up over here. So Emily, do you notice, ma'am, right here, that all the texts you've been sending back and forth are right here?
Yep.
Bingo. So what I'm going to do as a loan officer, I'm going to pick this conversation from the queue, assign this to myself, and now this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say something like this. Hi, Emily. This is Ashish, your loan officer from AVCU. How are you doing today? So either I can tap on the whole thing, or I can pick a quick response template from a bunch of templates that I have. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick this and send it to you like this. So could you please check your phone, ma'am, and let me know whenever you get my text?
Yep, I've got it.
Okay. And I have another person over here whose number ends in 1277. Could you please tell me who this is? Your name. Or okay, somebody whose number ends in 7490. Who is this, by the way?
That's me, it's Bree.
Okay, Bree, which one are you? The 7490?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. So Bree, I'm going to go ahead and text you also, and I'm going to pick the template. And what I want you to notice is what happens. Does the system recognize your name, or does it still think you are Emily? So that's what we're going to try now for a moment. I'm going to go ahead and text you like this. Okay. And right here, it says pending, sent, and delivered. So did you get my text, Bree, by the way?
I did. It says, hi, Bree.
So did you notice, Emily, when I texted you, ma'am, it says, hi, Emily. When I text Bree, it says, hi, Bree. So the system has some intelligence built into it. Okay. Can both of you please text me back, and please perhaps write something nice for me today? Okay, Emily wrote back, great. So this one I'm going to say, ma'am, I got your loan application. Everything is good to go. I just need a copy of your pay stub. Okay. And there's a built-in spell check. So I'm going to fix my spelling over here. Boom. I'm going to text it to you like this. So Emily, did you get my text, ma'am?
I sure did.
Okay, now is the really important part. So Emily, instead of asking you to send me a pay stub as a picture text, which will be unencrypted, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this attach button here, click on select from Eltropy, go to the lending workspace, and I already have a secure upload form for collecting a pay stub. I'm just going to go pick that and send it to you like this. And Bree, I'm going to send the same thing to you also. So Emily, whenever you get my text, ma'am, can you please read me the latest text you got?
Yep, it says, hi, Emily, we need income verification to complete your loan. This is a secure link for uploading a picture of your pay stub. Please click the link to view, text back to reply.
And what happens when you click on that link, ma'am? Where does that take you?
It brings me to mycu.eltropy.com. Please upload your pay stub using the attached button below.
Okay. And what happens when you click on that blue attach button, ma'am?
It asks if I want to attach it from the photo library, take a photo, or browse my files.
Okay, could you go to the take my photo option, ma'am, and please, for us, take a photo of something around you, perhaps a selfie for all of us today. And Bree, I send the same thing to you also, ma'am. So can you please do a selfie contest between Emily and Bree today? Wonderful. And actually, we have 2 other recipients who also got the same thing. So we may have a 4-way contest today. Bree, did you just drop off the call? It's okay if you don't want to send a selfie, ma'am. You can take a photo of something else around you. Okay, so let's look over here. Somebody did send me something. Okay. Okay, that's Tracy. Tracy, is that you?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And Tracy, is this your pay stub, ma'am, which looks just wonderful?
Oh, sure. Yes, yes, that's my pay stub.
It's just missing a $sign somewhere, but I'll be sure to add that for you, ma'am. Okay, wonderful. So Tracy, I'm going to go ahead and add your name here as well. Okay. So Tracy, with a pay stub like that, I'm going to approve your loan conditionally. So this is what I'm going to say. Congratulations, your loan has been approved conditionally. Fine. And looks like Emily just sent in her selfie. So, by the way, Emily, can you look at my screen, ma'am? Do you notice the moment you clicked on the link, I could track you right here, ma'am, that you clicked on the link. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because at the end of the link that you got was a unique 6-digit code. So all these links I've been sending all of you are uniquely trackable, secure links. So now, that's what I'm going to do. Aha! Okay, so far you're the winner, Emily. But let me just look at another contestant called Bree. And let's see what Bree sent in today. Okay, this is a tough one. So can I announce joint winners? Would that be okay with both of you? Okay. So congratulations. Your loan has been approved. Okay. Now is the last part. So let's say now I got your loan documents, I've approved your loan, but now I want to send you loan documents for e-signature. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on this button here, send DocuSign link. And Emily, did you notice, ma'am, I already have your name and phone number here. May I please request for your email address?
epeden@northcountry.org. PEDEN.
Like that, northcountry.org.
Yep. That's it.
Now let's assume that you're going to need some help from Tracy to pay for this loan. So Tracy, could you please, ma'am, also tell me your email address?
Yeah, it's Tracy, TRACY, at VTVAFCU.com.
I hope I got that right. And now, let's say, so we got Emily, we got Tracy. Who's the third person who submitted that photo? Was that Bree?
Bree.
Okay, Bree. Yep. Perfect. Okay, Bree. So let's say you are going to be a guarantor on this loan, ma'am, because we're not sure if Tracy and Emily can really afford this loan. So may I get your email address, ma'am?
It's bhusk@northcountry.org. BHUS, yep.
Like that. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to click on continue. Here, I'm going to click on the attach button. Let's imagine that your loan documents are sitting right here on my computer. And what you will notice is that DocuSign opens up right here. So you're the first company to do DocuSign via text. So Bree, I need you to sign as a guarantor. So you're going to be in the middle. Emily is the primary borrower. So Emily, you're going to go over here. And then Tracy is the secondary borrower or a co-borrower. You're going to go over here. I'm going to click on send. and I'm going to click on send text. As simple as that. So, Emily, could you read the latest text you got from me, ma'am?
Yep, it says, Dear Emily, here are your loan documents for review and e-sign. Please click link to view. Thank you, Ashish.
Okay,
Text
and
back
what
to reply.
happens when you click on the link, ma'am?
It's loading.
Now, I have a question. Can you do the loan documents? Because I know a lot of people have their loan documents right into their LOS system, and then have it automatically also include their cell phone number, and then it can let them know that you have loan documents to sign, go to your email?
Yes, ma'am. That is exactly an integration we're building with several loan origination systems, ma'am, right now.
So when I click the link, it asks for SMS and email authentication.
Yes, and ma'am, could you please please keep going, either do SMS or email, whatever you're comfortable with, and then please tell us what happens next.
Yep, so I did it by text code, and then it brings me to DocuSign.
Okay, can you please keep going, ma'am, and try to sign? And I just want to show you what happens after you sign. And Tracy, could you also do the same, ma'am? It looks like Bree is the farthest ahead. So it looks like Bree already signed her loan document.
All right, so I signed and it says, congratulations, your document has been signed. I also got a text message saying thank you for signing the document. You can access a copy from here and a link is provided.
Fantastic. Now, could you please look at my screen, ma'am? Do you notice the moment DocuSign open up on your phone, I could track you right here. And the moment you sign your loan documents, they're right here for me. I'm just going to go open them over here. And Emily, I'm guessing this is your signature on the left.
Yep.
And on the right-hand side, this is Bree. Bree, is this your signature, ma'am? Right there. And
that's Tracy's. Oh.
And that's Tracy right in the, oh, that's Tracy over here and Bree's in the middle. Okay, fine. Okay, so we verified all the signatures. So, Christine, I have some good news, ma'am. We have 3 credit unions who just signed their Eltropy contract. Thank you, credit unions. We really appreciate your time today. Okay, so my closing question for Emily is that, Emily, ma'am, if you were to put yourself in the shoes of a member, how was the experience today?
It was great. I mean, it's like, it's similar to all the opt-in sorts of text messaging you can do now.
Fantastic, fantastic. How about Tracy and Bree? Any comments on the experience? Was the experience easy, smooth? How was it today?
Yeah, easy.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so now my next question is for Bree. Bree, you've been texting this number back and forth, which is like 508, etc., 562-374-8733. Do you recognize this number, ma'am, by any chance?
No.
No.
I didn't really look at the number.
Yes. And you shouldn't be recognizing it because it's just a random number, ma'am. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to take you to your own website, which is North Country FCU. So I'm going to take you over here. And this is your website. And on your website, if you notice over here, contact. So I'm going to your contact us page. Ma'am, do you notice over here that you have this 1-800 number listed on your website? Do you notice this, Bree, right here?
Yes, it's our 1-800 number.
Yes, ma'am. So instead of texting that random number, what if you could actually text this 1-800 number, ma'am, as a member? What do you think about that idea?
I like it.
Cool. So this is what we call landline texting. So we have an ability of taking your existing landline number in your credit union. So whether it's this 1-800 number, any number of your branches, or any number at the desk of your loan officers, and enabling that for texting. And for that, your phone provider stays the same. You just need to give us a list of phone numbers, and within 7 business days, we can enable that for texting. So let me show you how other credit unions are doing this. So Joe, this is a contact us page of another credit union called Skyward Credit Union in Kansas. Joe, do you see this yellow boxer over here?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful. And do you notice, sir, it's the exact same 1-800 number that members can call, but they can also text. Do you notice that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. And if you were to do this, sir, what do you think will happen to your call volume, sir?
It would reduce.
Bingo. Because a lot of the questions that members have are simple questions that, hey, what are your latest loan rates? Did my payroll come in? What's your routing number? So a lot of those phone calls can be very easily deflected to text messages. So that's how credit unions are using texting out there. Okay, so I have only a few minutes left. So in the interest of time, any questions people have before I sort of conclude my presentation today?
I do have a couple of questions. One was on the DocuSign. Do you have to use that particular company, or can you use like I think the Members First is signed up with eDoc?
Yes, ma'am. So right now we are working with DocuSign. We're also working with a company called eSign. That's another popular provider. We have heard of eDocs, ma'am. So this is something you would like. We'll be very happy to build that integration for this credit union, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. And then the other question, so I'm a little confused. So if the same number that the credit union uses for their regular phone calls, if that is used as a text, where are the texts received? Is it on the console?
No, ma'am. The text will be received in a computer. So if you're looking at my screen, ma'am, the credit union employees on their computer, they will open up a web browser. And in that web browser, we will give them their own site or a portal. So the employees will log into the portal, which will be an Eltropy portal, and all these text messages will come to the computer, ma'am.
And that is also how the credit union would respond to that.
Precisely.
Okay, gotcha.
So the credit union employees will log into the Eltropy portal to receive the text messages and respond to the text messages. The members, on the other hand, will just use the text messages app on their phone. So the members don't have to do anything different, ma'am.
That's right. Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. Okay. So let me show you what happens when credit unions do this. Like, what are the business impacts that we see? So our second most popular use case for credit unions is lending. Because for lending, one of the biggest pain points credit unions have is collecting those loan documents. So a lot of members submit a loan application, but collecting those loan documents is very painful. So for this credit union, they've been using our product for about 2 years now. When they used to collect loan documents via email or via fax, it used to take them anywhere between 3 days to 21 days. But now when they send that link out on text, for example, the one I sent to Emily or Bree or Tracy, on an average, they get back those loan documents within 33 minutes of that text going out. And even if you compare this, let's say, to email, this is still 44x, 4,400% better. So for this credit union, when they deploy texting, by the end of first week, 5 new loans were originated, and that's ROI right there. So as you're thinking about this for your credit union, again, you don't have to wait for months or years. Within the first week, you will start seeing ROI for lending. This is collection. So I think, Bree, you were very curious to know about this, ma'am. So this is what we noticed, that for most credit unions, the collection call pickup rate is less than 1% because people hate collections calls. Nobody picks up those calls. They're all sent to voicemail. However, if you did the same thing via text, we see a 40% response rate, ma'am. So imagine on day one, you go from less than 1% to 40%, which is a 40x improvement, like 2 orders of magnitude improvement on day one. So Bree, any ideas, ma'am, why this could be happening? Like why this behavior, phone call via text?
Because it's easier for people to text than it is to call and not feel as embarrassed.
Bingo. Ma'am, this is exactly what we hear from everywhere. It's all about embarrassment. Like if I have to explain my financial situation to a stranger, it's very embarrassing. But I can always hide behind texting. It's much easier. Wonderful. This is marketing. So we consistently see 500% better member engagement via text compared to email. And this is call center. So Joe, we didn't get much chance to get into this in detail, sir, in the interest of time today, but we see consistently 300% better or faster member authentication and response via text compared to just a regular out-of-wallet question. So what this credit union does, they use text messages to authenticate a member's identity. So instead of asking them, let's say 4 or 5 different out-of-wallet questions, sir, they'll ask one question and then send a 6-digit code for verification. And then the member reads that code. So they're able to make their phone calls 300% faster by doing that. And last year, I presented a solution to the CUNA board of directors. So some of you may recognize this gentleman here, Jim Nussel. So Jim and 24 credit union CEOs, and we won an award as the best text messaging solution for credit unions. So as a result, we went from having 15 credit union clients last year to 125 credit union clients as of today. Okay, so to conclude my presentation today, what I would say is that because of COVID-19, perhaps the world that we knew will never be the same. Because COVID-19 is changing people's behavior in a permanent manner. But what if you could put your lobby in your member's phone via text? What would that mean for your credit union? Okay, Christine, that's all I had today, ma'am. And with this, I'd like to transfer it back to you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate this information. It was very thorough and very informative. If a credit union's interested, do they reach out to Mark?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Christine, you and I could work together. We can coordinate additional meetings where we can get into more detail about the services, the use cases, et cetera. Drill down, you know, especially on how the platform's used on an enterprise level. So we're happy to do that.
Okay, great. Yeah, I really found it interesting how, you know, I really think that our credit union branches might be shut down soon. And so, you know, it would be a great tool for, you know, just to send out a wide message to all the members saying, hey, we have to shut down. Or if they only want one person in at a time, then they can just say, you know, use this text message and then we'll let you in, you know, one at a time. So it's a lot easier.
Several credit unions are doing that these days, that when members will come into the Hello, can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Yeah, so what we're noticing, Christine, that a lot of credit unions will do when a member's pull into a parking lot, they'll put a poster saying, dear member, when you get here, text us. And then the member will text them, and these texts are being received inside the branch by the employees, and they'll say, sir, we put you in the queue, you're member number 3. As soon as we are ready, we'll text you, and then you can come on in.
Yeah,
so,
that's nice.
Yeah.
Technology, we love it.
And Christine, one last thing, ma'am, I wanted to show is that on our website, we have logos of all our credit unions, and we work with credit unions of all sizes. So our smallest credit union, ma'am, has assets of 7 million, and our largest is about 10 billion. So we have all the logos on our website organized by asset sizes. So you'll notice that every single credit union out there should be able to afford texting. That's our philosophy, ma'am.
Nope, I like that. It's very nice. Well, thank you. And then if anyone's interested, you can let me know, and then I will connect everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for your time. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. That was awesome. Very good.
Thank you, ma'am.
And
Thank you.
In the chat box, Ashish has put forth my email address as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect.
And Emily and Bree, thank you for sending your selfies. That was a highlight of my demo.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.